Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video because it's a foundation review. You guys know I love doing foundation reviews. I love trying out foundations and hopefully finding great foundations from drugstore, high-end, anywhere. I love foundations in general. This foundation in particular, I've been so excited about. I have been following Sunday Riley for a really long time. If you don't know, Sunday Riley is a high-end skincare brand, and I've actually been trying out a lot of their products more consistently to help with my acne and with some hyperpigmentation, and so far I've really been enjoying them. They just released a foundation, which is kind of crazy for a skincare brand to release foundation, and I am so intrigued by this. I'm going to be trying out the Influencer foundation. This is what it looks like. I grabbed two shades because I wasn't sure which one I would be since I bought these online. I didn't test them out. So I grabbed 120 and 140, and I'm just really excited to test this out. I have high hopes for this. I hope it works for me because it just seems like something that would be really great for an everyday type of basis. So let's just get right into it. I already have my brows done off camera. I used the U.F.O conditioning primer underneath the brows, and then I went in with my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. The brow primer is also from Benefit, and that's all we have today. I wasn't sure if I wanted to prime the face. I have the Sunday Riley U.F.O oil on my skin right now, and I'm thinking that I might just try it with that since this is Sunday Riley. I'm assuming that they may have formulated it to kind of stick with or work well with their skincare products, so I don't really know if I want to jeopardize that by using another primer. I am going to try to test this out for a couple of days if possible. You guys know that's what I love to do, just because foundations can work with certain primers and they cannot work with other primers, and so sometimes I like to kind of test it out in different ways over a few days if I can, so that I can see how exactly it works best for me, and I feel like I can get a more solid review for you guys, so that if I use like a bad primer with it the first day, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is awful, and then maybe if I try it another day, like it works somehow. So anyway, I'm just gonna read to you what I'm kind of expecting from this foundation based off of what they say. On the back of the box, it says it's cyclopentylsiloxane free, okay, synthetic fragrance free, talc free, gluten free, paraben free, and cruelty free. And it says that it's gonna be clean and natural looking. It's supposed to be long wearing, although they don't give an hour. They don't give a time frame, so who knows how long this is gonna wear. We will test that out today though. It's supposed to work through workouts, humidity, or days where you're feeling oily. It has a satin matte finish that doesn't dry out as the day or night goes on. It's supposed to have medium to full coverage, and you're supposed to be able to build it up. It's supposed to conceal redness, large pores, dark spots without settling into fine lines. This sounds like a dream foundation. It has Canadian willow herb, oat, chamomile, ginkgo, ginkgo biloba. Wow. Green tea and northern truffle extracts to balance the appearance of surface skin redness for naturally flawless skin. It says to apply 1 to 2 pumps after your Sunday Riley skincare, so that's why I'm going to leave Sunday Riley on the surface of my skin so we can see how it works with their skincare. So like I said, I did grab 2 shades. I'm thinking that I'm gonna be more 140. I should probably show you the packaging. Look how cool the packaging is. It's a really cool squeeze plastic tube with a pump. Really, really great. The only other foundation I have like this is the It Cosmetics CC Plus Cream, and I love the packaging on that. It's just really practical, and I feel like you can get a lot of the product out and it's mess free, and I just love that. I'm just gonna kind of do a little swatch. That's 140 and this is 120. I think 140 is a little bit of a better match. All right, so it says, somewhere it said 1 to 2 pumps. So I'm really gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with actually 1 pump. Oh, that wasn't a very good pump. Okay, 1.5 pumps. And I'm gonna apply it with a foundation brush. This is my favorite foundation brush. It's from It Cosmetics. It's the Heavenly Luxe No. 7 brush. This blends out foundation like a dream. I normally like to blend foundation out with a brush, and then if I feel like there's brush marks, because some foundations leave brush marks, some don't, then I will go ahead and use a sponge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of dot this all over the skin. I actually have quite a bit left on my hand after that. I just don't want to apply like too little or too much. I don't really know how this is going to work. So I'm going to start to kind of blend this out. Ooh, it seems to be really gliding over the skin nicely. The shade seems to be looking pretty good for me. Let's see, up close, it is leaving a couple brush strokes, but it seems like I'm able to kind of buff them in the more I buff the foundation in with the brush. Okay, so I'm just going to keep kind of layering so we can get all the foundation on the skin. I'm just going to layer it over the products that need a little more coverage though, because I do like to have my good skin show through where I have good skin. So that's kind of what I like to do with any foundation. I do kind of a sheer layer, and then I go back and build up lightly in the areas that need a little more help, which is always the cheeks for me. And today it seems like I've got some redness on the forehead here. So now I'm just lightly taking my Flower Beauty sponge and just tapping over the foundation. I'm not really pressing too hard. I just basically want to kind of get rid of any brush marks if there are any left. So that is 1.5 pumps. I'm actually happy with how this looks. I know you can still see blemishes and things like that through the skin, but I don't want to build it up any more than this, to be honest. I really like how it looks. It looks like my skin, but better. I prefer to kind of spot conceal more these days than add a whole entire layer of foundation again. I just feel like sometimes I can get a little carried away when I do that. So I'm gonna spot conceal if there are any blemishes that need a little more help. But honestly, I'm really liking how this looks. It seems like it really smoothed over any pores that I had. I didn't have any problems like blending it out. I will say I would kind of describe this as more of a medium coverage than a full coverage, but I didn't build it up like a ton. But since it recommends 1 to 2 pumps and I did 1.5 pumps and got pretty much a medium coverage, I would say it's more medium. That's kind of what I expected from this foundation, to be honest. It kind of just seems like more of a everyday, more lightweight, fresh kind of foundation since they are a skincare brand. So that's kind of what I was picturing, even though it did say full coverage on it. My type of full coverage is different than maybe some other people's type of full coverage, but I do feel like it did cancel out redness. I love the finish of that. I mean, it looks like my skin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup, and then I'll come back to kind of check in and we can do a little wear test today. All right, you guys, so I just finished up my makeup. Right now, honestly, I really like how it looks. I feel like it looks really natural. The finish is a little bit matte. I did set the face though with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I set mainly the under eye area, but I do like to usually set my entire face. And since this is a powder that I've been using a bunch, I wanted to use something that is familiar to me that works with tons of different foundations. We're gonna go throughout the day and do a little wear test. So it's currently 2:20 p.m. I'm kind of a night owl, so I'm gonna wear this as long as possible. Like, I have high hopes for this because I love this for an everyday type of look. This is exactly the finish that I like, the coverage that I like, so I have high hopes, and we will see how it wears. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, you guys, it is late. It is currently 10:56 p.m. This is what the foundation is looking like. It's a little bit shiny, but not like super greasy in the T-zone, and I feel like the coverage is pretty much the exact same as when I started. Like, it really hasn't budged. It's settled in my smile line slightly. Usually foundations super settle in this line right here, but I have to say I'm actually really impressed with how it wore today. I normally don't do this, but I was on Sephora.com, and since I had purchased it online, since it was a new foundation, there were no reviews, and I went back on there today and kind of read through the reviews like an hour ago, and it seems like it's either like a hit or a miss for people. Like, either people love it or they absolutely hate it. I feel like it's worked really well on my skin. For those of you who are new, my skin is normal, so I do get a little bit of shine in the T-zone sometimes. Otherwise, I could potentially get some dry areas around the chin and cheeks, but for the most part, it's pretty normal. And so I feel like for me with normal skin, it really held up really well. And also, I usually always wear a primer, and I didn't today, and maybe that helped as well. And also, I was reading on Sephora, they had a pro tip and they recommended using a certain Sunday Riley product, which I have. So I think I might try that underneath the foundation tomorrow, and we'll kind of see how that holds up, and then I will come back and give you my final thoughts. But so yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll do a little check-in. See you in a minute. As always, I like to give it a second go. I also, this morning, tried out wearing the foundation on top of the Sunday Riley Good Genes Serum. This was a little pro tip that they had described in their product description on Sephora, so I thought, hey, if that is a pro tip, if they recommend that, I might as well try it since I've got it. So I did about half a pump all over my skin, and that is all I have on my face. I splashed my face with water this morning, and then I put that on and went straight in with foundation. And this is what it looks like right now. Again, I'm really impressed with how it wore. I don't know, I must be doing something right. I used the same IT Cosmetics brush to really just blend down and then kind of buff at the end, and I feel like that gave me great coverage. I used 1.5 pumps again. I feel like that's plenty for me, and I loved how it looked all through the day yesterday, so I'm excited to see if it is any different with the Good Genes Serum underneath. It's currently 11:26 a.m. Yeah, a.m. And we're gonna wear this throughout the day. I'll see you guys in a little bit for my check-in, and we will see how this wears throughout today with the Sunday Riley Good Jeans underneath. And then by the end of today, I feel like I will have a really solid opinion on this foundation for you guys, and I'll be able to tell you whether I recommend it or not. So I will see you all in a little bit. All right, you guys, so I am back. It is currently 8:31 p.m. So I've worn this all day long. I'm really not mad at how it wore. I have a few thoughts. I've actually written down a few notes so that I wouldn't forget. So first of all, I feel like it really worked for me. I feel like with my skin type, it didn't really get too oily. I mean, there's a little bit of shine on the center of my forehead, but I didn't touch up at all today. It was really long wearing to me. I don't see any patchiness or any place that it really wore off. Today, I didn't set as much as I did yesterday, and I feel like today I kind of have a more dewy finish by the end of the day, and using the Good Jeans serum might have contributed to that as well. So now I know that if I want a more matte finish, I should do what I did yesterday, and if I want a more dewy finish throughout the day, I should do what I did today. My hair, it's always so crazy by the end of the day. Some other thoughts that I had is, again, I don't think that it's really full coverage, at least for me, because I do have acne prone skin, I have blemishes, I have discoloration, so I look for like a lot of coverage. When people say full coverage, I'm expecting like the Maybelline 24-hour full coverage foundation. This to me is much more of a medium, even sheer coverage, depending on how much you use, and that's personally how I feel like I'm going to use this foundation. This is not going to be a go-to for me for like events or special occasions or like things like that, but for like an everyday basis where I just want a light wash of something that I know is going to stay on my face, I think I'm going to use this a lot. I'm going to keep it for sure. It's not like the most show-stopping foundation I've ever put on my face, but I am impressed with how it wore. So I'm not mad at it. I really like it. I would recommend going and trying out a sample maybe before you pick up the full size, just because I really feel like this could be a foundation that could work on some people, maybe it wouldn't work on other people, and to be completely honest, I feel like it really makes a difference with how you prep the skin. So if you do try this foundation out, try several ways of prepping the skin. Try with primer, without primer, try it with just your skincare underneath, because I mean, in just the 2 days of me using it and prepping the skin differently, it wore differently. And so if you do try it out, play with it a little bit and see if it works for you and if you can find like the best combination for your skin type. But yeah, I am pleasantly surprised with this foundation actually. I was kind of worried. I was kind of thinking that maybe it wouldn't work for me after seeing some of the reviews last night, but to be completely honest, I really like this foundation. I just wish companies would market it as more of a sheer to medium buildable coverage, because I feel like this is one of those that looks best when you're wearing a little less of it. Does that make sense? So anyways, that's my final thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried this. Let me know if it's worked for you or if it hasn't. Let me know also if you do comment that what skin type you are so we can help each other out. If you guys are looking for like a good everyday sheer to medium buildable coverage, I would check this out. I like the idea that it's made by a skincare brand, especially one that I am using currently. There's something about that I really like. So if you are a Sunday Riley fan and you're looking for a little everyday kind of fuller coverage tinted moisturizer almost, this would be something to look to. That's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, please join the family by hitting the subscribe button. I would love to have you on board. If you're already subscribed, just go ahead and click on the little notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post. And yeah, you guys know I love doing foundation reviews, so comment a foundation down below that you would want me to try out that's coming out, or that you've been thinking of buying that you would like to see me review, and I would love to hear your recommendations because I love finding complexion products of all kinds. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!